Today I fucked up by making someone think I was going to murder and bury her. This just happened and I can't believe I didn't think about the situation. For reference, I am a pretty big guy, and don't exactly look like a teddy bear. I posted a folding wagon online and someone said she wanted it. Both of our surprise, we work at the same hospital, so drop off, pickup would be easy. Our hospital is huge, so she agreed to meet me at my car in a parking garage. The wagon was in my car and we greeted one another and I opened my trunk to get the wagon out. She immediately stepped back when I opened the trunk, then I saw it. I will take a step back to mention that I spent last weekend at my parents' house helping them tear down a shed and a bunch of trees. I had all the tools at my house, so I brought them over to help. The tools include a shovel, pickaxe, sledgehammer, reciprocating saw, axe, hatchet, hacksaw, large blue tarp, work gloves and rope. They were all covered in mud. It was literally a murder and disposal kit, that all looked well used. I just put them in my trunk and forgot to take them out. I didn't notice them when I put the wagon in because it was morning and still very dark. I explained the situation and took the wagon out for her. She ended up being co-workers with my mom, and remembered my mom mentioning the new shed at work a few weeks prior. So we had a laugh about it in the end, but I was certain I would be maced or tased for sure. Too long didn't read. I met a woman alone in a parking garage to sell her something from my trunk and left a DIY murder set in my car. Edit. Thank you all so much for the awards and assuring me not completely stupid, just a little. This has been an awful few days for me for other reasons, so knowing I made some other people laugh or even smile is really helpful. Any chance your name is Tucker or Dale? Oh Heidi ho officer. We've had a doozy of a day. Little do you know, she has been stalking you for years, even getting a job at the same place you work, because that's how long she has coveted that wagon. I would have noped right out of there, even with the explanation, smiley face, username checks out. That is a sitcom level situation, glad you and she could have a good laugh about it. Nice cover story. Oh, you're my mom's friend. Oh, the axe. Ha ha ha, I just finished building a shed and haven't unloaded the car yet. Why do I need an axe to build a shed? For pipes. Gotta cut those pipes. Anyway, ha ha ha, whoa, I really didn't expect someone who could identify would know me. What a small world. Here's the wagon. It can carry more than you'd think. Nearly a whole person if you stack the bits right. Today I fucked up by sitting on a very fluffy blanket with my whole family while wearing a butt plug. For Christmas, my boyfriend got me a butt plug. Looks like this. Tonight, I knew I was going to be left alone because it was a family movie night and I told them I wasn't feeling well. So, naturally, I went ahead and watched a YouTube video about butt plugs and stuck it inside. I sent a couple of pictures to my boyfriend, and while I was having a fun time, my dad knocked on the door and told me to come to join the family. I didn't want to, but I hadn't been with them in a while. I study and live in a university halfway across the country, and it was one of those rare occasions everyone, my two brothers and my mum and dad, were at home. And with the appreciating small things due to the pandemic mindset, I decided to go downstairs and watch a movie with them. Our couch is really old, and we don't want people coming in and out the house fixing it with the pandemic, so we just had on this microfiber plush blanket on top of the couch. I sat in between my brothers, and since the room was dark, I was 100% no one could tell I had a butt plug on. I mean, no one would be able to tell with the lights on anyway. I was immersed in the film, singing in the rain, and I sat very still and comfortably on one spot. The film ended, my parents to bed, and my brothers and I all stood up at the same time. Now, you could see our butt imprints on the blankets, but you could also see a distinct mechanical non-human body part heart mark right on my butt imprint. Like it was perfectly outlined and white contrasted with the other part of the blanket. My brothers saw it because they were comparing their butt sizes on the imprints, and assumed for a second I sat on something. They started looking around to see what I was sitting on. Then they realized it wasn't what I sat on, but what I had in me that was marked on the blanket. No words were exchanged. One of them just went over, smoothed all the imprints and erased the butt marks on the blanket. They walked, silently, to their individual rooms. I am currently in my room and I feel like God did me wrong to expose me like that. Well, it is what it is. Unlike my boyfriend who's laughing about it now, maybe I'll be able to laugh about it sometime in the future. For now, y'all can enjoy this story. It's my late Christmas gift to you all. Too long didn't read, got a butt plug in, sat with my family. My butt plug made a very visible and obvious indentation on the blanket which my brothers all saw. The part that makes that the most believable is your brothers comparing butt sizes. Lol, why did you not just take it out? Smiley face. The process of putting it in was too bothersome, plus, thought it would be harmless having it in. It, clearly, went well for me, ha ha ha. You can't spell embarrassment without ass. Next time you and your brothers could use a butt plug and compare which one has the bigger asshole. At least your brothers know what to get you next Christmas. No, edit, oh come on, this can't be my top comment, you sick fucks. /u/ maybe Apsy has the right idea, donate to someone useful. If I presented my wife a butt plug for Christmas or any other occasion, I'd be done. Just wear it and don't show her. We'll keep your secret. Today I fucked up by saying jacking off numerous times to a female co-worker in a very professional workspace. I've, 33M, been a middle school basketball coach for a number of years. Well, today while trying to have a friendly conversation with a co-worker, 67F, about the boys on my team and how they do not listen all that well, I repeatedly said that all they do is jack off. Each time I said it she looked borderline disgusted, but the words just kept spewing out of my mouth. The conversation ends rather awkwardly, and a couple minutes later I'm hit with the feeling of horror as my brain replays the conversation. I had just put the imagine of a bunch of masturbating middle school boys into the mind of my co-worker not once, but 3 to 4 times. All along I meant to be saying jack around, but my brain failed me. Solid start to 2021. Too long didn't read, told an older lady co-worker of mine that the team of boys I coach just jack off while meaning to say jack around. I was once interviewing a job candidate for a highly technical IT position along with a teammate of mine. The candidate went into an explanation of how he might complete a particular process I asked him to explain, and instead of saying beat back or something, he said beat off. I was making full lock solid eye contact with the guy and it took my entire being and all of its life force to not crack up laughing at the guy, completely embarrassing the guy, and ruining his interview. I maintained solid eye contact throughout his entire diatribe. I don't even know what he said. My teammate, on the other hand, got to stifle his laugh without getting caught, then describes how his brain later during the interview said, hey, remember when this guy said beat off, and he had to go on quietly losing it again. We reference that poor guy to this day. Solid candidate though, but didn't get the job. Surely this story would have come up in time, no doubt. Well, slip or not, you're not wrong. That is basically all middle school boys do. As a Brit, I have no idea what the phrase jack around is supposed to mean. As an American, I have never heard the phrase before. My co-worker confused suck up with suck off once. He told me he was sucking off all the managers in the office. In his defense, English is his second language. He also confused horn dog with corn dog. He was a great co-worker. Good times. I worked with a guy who was ESL who would get very passionate about things, and stood up in the middle of a meeting when he was worked up and pounded on the table and yelled, I am sick and tired of bending over forwards for you guys. Just about had an aneurysm trying not to burst out laughing. I don't know if anyone bothered to tell him after that the expression is bending over backwards. Oof, I had a similar one. At one of my first jobs I was getting to know my immediate supervisor, who was a super cool lady a couple of years older than me, and quite attractive. So, we're working a shift, getting along pretty well, got a good vibe going, and toward the end of the shift she tells me to go ahead and take the trash out to the dumpster, which I've already done. So my brain suggests 3 things I could say in response: already did it, way ahead of you, and on top of it. My mouth, however, rather than choosing any of these perfectly good responses, decides to mash them all together and say, already on top of you. Luckily, after the initial awkwardness and an immediate correction on my part, she just laughed it off, but damn, that was a betrayal by my mouth.